Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing the rarely seen Lange Söhne Grand Arkade. The Grand Arkade launched in 2002, and it only ran from 2002 to 2005. It took the much admired but petite 1994 arcade design and scaled it up. Remember, the arcade bowed in 1994 as one of the first four modern-era Lange Söhne models, but that arcade was small enough that it was considered more or less a lady's watch alone. This watch, in a larger size, in yellow gold, represents a unisex option. So, it is 29 millimeters across compared to 22.2 millimeters across for the original. It is 8.8 millimeters thick. It is 45.4 millimeters from lug to lug tip, and it has an 18 millimeter spacing between the lugs. So you can see the watch on my wrist really does wear quite nicely. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference. It's a flat watch. It's a low slung watch. It'll slide easily under a cuff. It is nowhere near the edge of my wrist, but do take note, it wears larger than a 29. Never take the width of a rectangular or ovoid watch as its diameter. A 29 millimeter watch would be a small lady's watch, whereas this at 29, this wears more like a 40 millimeter round watch. So it does have more wrist presence, but also more size than you would expect given the bare dimensions. And I could recommend this watch for a wrist as small as about 13.5 centimeters circumference. Taking a quick look at the strap, you can see it is a Lange Söhne factory strap, brown calfskin on the bottom. It is a Lange strap in brand new condition. You can see large rectangular scale alligator leather on the top. There's a monotone stitch, there's a sheer cut side, and you can appreciate that it is a matte finish. We have the Lange pin buckle here. I've sung its praises for a long time. It's relatively simple from an aesthetic standpoint, but it includes two clever features. There's a little bar in there, so if you have a small wrist like me and you're going to use the smallest hole or even punch a smaller one, that little bar prevents the strap from getting pinned on the pin. So it's a retaining bar to make it easy to extract a tightly strapped watch from a small wrist. Now we also have an elevated bridge, which is to say that if you look at the prongs of the buckle, they actually sit lower than the bridge on top. So you could stick the strap into the buckle and it'll sit flat on your wrist. The case is angular, simple, but strong. You can see those thrusting lugs projecting out of the case. Everything's high polished yellow gold. You can see this is a pre-owned watch. There are some previous marks of use, not abuse, but of use. You can see there are a few scratches and swirls, nothing major. And then there is a step to the bezel where it abuts the sapphire, which significantly is a non-round design. It always takes more work and expense to create these non-round crystals and then fit them to a watch that can be rendered water resistant. There's a little pusher adjuster on the side, and that's used for adjusting the panorama datum or the outsized date. Taking a quick look at the crystal, you can see this type of crystal is glued into place. That's usually the way with these rectangular and ovoid watches. The dial is made of sterling silver, and it's actually galvanized this silver white color, but the dial is a solid block of AG 925. The frame for the date, the indices, the Roman numerals, and the alpha hands are all yellow gold 18 karat. You can see that even the cannon pinion's been mirror polished on its top. Great attention to detail. We have a sunken sub-register with a concentric pattern and a crosshair design with a nice counterweighted seconds hand. There is a hacking seconds function. The watch is 30 meters water resistant. On the reverse side, you can see this lovely Lange caliber. This is the Lange caliber L911.4. So you know that work began on this movement in 1991, that it was the first movement that was commenced that year, and that this is version 4 of the 911. That's how you read a Lange caliber number. The bridges and plates are in German silver, a nickel copper zinc alloy that has a lovely golden hue because of the copper. You can see mirrored anglage on the edge of the bridges, a freehand engraved balance cock, a black polished set of case clamp screws, a cover to the escape wheel in black polish with a lovely sharp interior angle, very impressive that. Black polished swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism. Note we have both black polished and fire blued screws here. We have engine turning on the base plate, glasuta stripes across the bridges, and then we have little golden chaton fixing the pivot jewels, a nod to the pocket watch era when jewels would be set in precision golden chaton, and then those would be set into bridges and plates using screws. The watch, of course, has a manual wind power reserve of approximately 45 hours. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It is 5-position adjusted, which is the high horology and chronometer standard. It pivots on 30 jewels. And again, it is all 30 meters water resistant, beaten away at 3 hertz or 6 beats per second. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.